Okay. Take it away, Jeff.
Good afternoon. This is Jeff Weinberg, president of Caregiver Champion, and we have a very important and actually a companion to a lot of the things that Caregiver Champion does. We have Tracy from Hope Grows, and Hope Grows is starting to grow in reputation, but it's still sort of a well-kept secret. And I found out about it actually by participating in a group that I'm involved with, which is the National Association in Aging in Place. And we actually became a co-partner. National Association in Aging in Place became a partner with Hope Grows. And the more I heard about it, the more interested I became, because they're doing some wonderful things there. And it is for caregivers. And as we all know, I really stress caregiver support and things that caregiver can get some relief from, because they are stressed to the max all the time. And anything that they can do that would benefit them and take away some of that stress is fantastic. So Hope Grows fits that bill, and I'm really excited to have Tracy here and have her talk about Hope Grows and the programming they're involved with, and everything else like that. So thank you for coming, Tracy.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be doing this.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you. So to start off, tell us a little bit about Hope Grows and how it got started.
Okay, awesome. So Hope Grows is a nonprofit 501(c) organization, and it's located out in Moon Township. And it started back in 2012 when my boss, Lisa Story, was out in the garden one day, and she heard her dad who had passed away, kind of tell her like, hope grows. So she decided to start this organization from the ground up out of her home. And it is basically a catch-all for caregiver support. So we do a lot of different things. One of the most important programs, which I run, is called Think Caregiver. And it is a monthly phone call check-in. So we kind of just call and check in to see how you're doing, to remind caregivers that they're not forgotten about, because I think a lot of the time that happens. We also have 9 healing and restorative gardens on site. We really love the whole nature therapy model, because we really strongly believe in it. We do support groups and programming and events throughout the year. I mean, you name it, and we do it. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I would love to go to those gardens myself. That sounds really cool.
Come the season with spring and summer, it's unreal. It's such a hidden gem.
So how long has the organization been around?
So since 2012, I believe.
Awesome. And what is your role there? You kind of tapped into it a little bit, but.
Yeah, so my official title is Intake Care Specialist. So whenever a new client calls Hope Grows, I am kind of the liaison. I love to hear caregiver stories and to kind of tap into their daily life and give them an individualistic plan of support, because we have so many programs. But most of the time, caregivers just want to be heard. So we really encourage them to seek support through other caregivers so that they don't feel so alone. So I'm kind of their guide, I guess you could say.
That's wonderful. Awesome.
We have a similar, not program, but we have a Facebook page. It's called Working Caregivers. And it's a combination of professionals as well as caregivers. And lots of times it's just that they can express how they feel.
Yeah.
And somebody's listening to them. So we know exactly what you're talking about. I have one question. Does it cost to belong to your organization?
No, so all of our programs except for mental health counseling is free. So all you got to do is call and let us know what you're interested in doing, and we can sign you right up and get you started right away.
Very cool. So I understand you recently had an opening for your new one of the houses. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so the founder of Hope Grows, Lisa Story, and her husband Chuck have finally been zoned to turn their own personal home into a bed and breakfast for caregivers. So we're in the middle of transitioning, doing that. So our latest event was on July 15th, and it was the renovation showcase. And basically it showed all of the plans for the renovation, and we've started doing that. So we hope that, you know, it'll start moving forward soon to be open, hopefully sometime next year. You know, but with COVID and everything else, I think it's kind of slowed down the tracks a little bit, but we're getting to move on. It's going to be amazing.
Very cool.
How would people, if once you open, how would they like go about trying to make a reservation, or how does it work?
Yeah, so we're thinking that it'll be incorporated into our website once we are up and running, or people could call and see what the availability is. So as of right now, we're trying to get ADA equipment in there. So if anyone does have any sort of, you know, difficulty getting into the house or using the restroom, we're trying to get all of that ADA compliant. We want to get more guardrails around the gardens and things like that. So it's still in the very beginning stages.
Very cool. So one of the reasons we started these Q&As is to put out more information and knowledge and collaboration between the community of caregivers and loved ones that could use care. So it's really awesome to be talking to an organization like yourself. And since I have Jeff here, Jeff Weinberg, the president of Caregiver Champion. Jeff, could you tell us a little bit about what a patient advocate does and what Caregiver Champion offers? And then I'd like to kind of have a conversation between the two of you of how we might be able to both, you know, work together and support each other, and other similar organizations work together and support each other.
So as a patient advocate, and that actually is a relatively new concept as well, and it's sort of a well-kept secret. We are healthcare advocates, and we help people get through the bureaucratic maze, which really doesn't mean a whole lot, except that typically in today's world of healthcare, people are told what they can do and what they can't do. They don't have time, or they don't even know what questions to ask in terms of finding out that there are alternatives to the choices that they're given. And so a major thing that we do is provide alternatives for people so that they're able to realize that they can then now make an intelligent decision about what they want to do for their loved one. And just as Hope Grows, we spend a lot of time dealing with the caregiver and their stress. And, you know, I've done presentations on, you know, the 5 things that are most important for caregivers. And the first thing I talk about is put your oxygen mask on first, so that you learn to take care of yourself. And so, again, this is part of why I'm so excited about finally having Tracy and Hope Groves involved, because there's so much that we're able to, first of all, a lot of my people are people that I see for 3-4 months, and then I've usually helped them through the project of whatever it is they need. And it would be great to be able to hand over to Tracy, you know, some person or some place like Hope Grows, so they're continually following up and monitoring those people, helping them with their stress, as well as they can then, at a certain point, if they need my services, they can encourage to get back to Caregiver Champion.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is just something that I just have. I see the potential in all kinds of areas, and I think it's terrific.
Yeah. I've noticed that. So, one of the things that I help with is I really try to help find resources for caregivers to um, eliminate just one more thing that they have to do, because it can be very time consuming for caregivers to sit at the computer and attempt to research all of these different things and narrowing down their options. So I really think that that's one thing referral wise that we could really work together on, because there are times it is time consuming for me as well. So, trying to go through and trying to find something that's specialized within their area. So I think that's definitely
One thing
something worth
you probably don't know, Tracy, is that we are a resource expert.
thinking.
And April Garrett, who's involved with the Senior Blue Book, who puts together all of the resources, and I are very close friends. And she actually calls me usually when she has someone contact her. But the other thing that we provide is that we vet various services.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of somebody getting a list of home care agencies
Right.
in their area and they don't know who to call, we have already vetted the top 3,
Mm-hmm.
and we can give them that, or a nursing home, or a personal care home, or even attorneys at a certain point.
Right.
So vetting those services makes their role in trying to find the right person or the right place a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
So we can clearly work together with that. That'll be terrific.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you want to share or add that we haven't touched on today before we ask people where they can find you?
Sure. So, couple of things I just kind of want to just go over very briefly. So we are a respite super center. I think that that's something that we live, eat, breathe, preach self-care. I think that that's one of the most important things, just like what Jeff was saying. You have to put your own face mask on first before you can help others. So, as a caregiver, if you aren't taking care of yourself, there's a good chance that taking care of your loved one isn't going to go very well. And definitely getting that burnt out feeling, especially during these times, can be very difficult. So yeah, I mean, if anyone, and there's definitely no shame into saying that you need help, because it's okay. I think the mental health stigma around caregiving is slowly but surely being broken down. And it's really important, because the last thing that we want our caregivers to be getting sick because they're not taking care of themselves.
Absolutely.
And their stress is just, they're stressed to the max every day.
Yeah, it's
And
never ending. It's a full-time job on top of their own paying jobs,
Right.
and taking care of more than one person on a daily basis. So
exactly. And the things that you can do to relieve that stress,
mm-hmm.
with those, the gardens and some of the other things that you're doing, that is just so important.
Yeah.
I think it's terrific. I really do.
Yeah, I agree, especially now more than ever.
Yeah, and a lot of our services, I mean, all of them basically right now, besides the garden walks. Well, actually, those are on YouTube as well. But everything is virtual right now.
Cool.
So it's pretty accessible to anyone.
So how
What do
can
you mean it's on YouTube?
So we actually have a YouTube page. It's just Hope Grows if you search it. And we have different respite activities for caregivers to do and watch. One of them being a virtual garden walk. So Lisa, our founder, will take her phone or camera and go out and walk through the gardens and talk about the different benefits of being in that specific garden. So each garden has a different healing and restorative meaning to it.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful.
We should get the link to that, Rachel, and put that on our working caregiver one. Because
Absolutely.
that would be so important and so great for them.
We'll share
Yeah.
them, and we'll also put that in the comments below for anyone who sees this video. Where can people connect with Hope Grows? How can they get involved and use your services?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different ways. One is going to our website, is www.hopegrows.net, or you could give us a call at 412-369-4673. And to get directly to me is extension 401.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the great work that you do and for sharing more about the organization with us and our viewers today. We appreciate your time. Jeff, thank you as always. For people who are interested in connecting with Jeff and Caregiver Champion, you can go to caregiverchampionadvocate.com. And we appreciate your time today, Tracy. Stay well.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, Lisa, you've been terrific. I'm so excited that we're going to have the opportunity to work together.
Yes,
I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, me too. I think it's going to be a great working relationship.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.